Okay, got it now. Okay, thank you. Whoa, I've got it written down as well. Just shows getting a habit's not easy. I was concentrating so many other things. Got a couple of trades sent through to look at as well, and other bits and pieces. Sure, sure, sure. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. Brilliant. Okay, yes. Hope you all had a good weekend. Blessed some good weather on the Saturday when I wanted. Had stuff planned and the weather was good. I was wanted to take it easy anyway yesterday, and the weather wasn't so good. So the weather did me proud yesterday. Did fine. Got a pretty nice day today, and yeah, hope we get obviously as always a few more. But anyway, got a heck of a lot of members by the way, believe it or not. And but no one seems to be joining. It's up to them if they do or not. Okay, no problem, Dion. Okay, Sellers joining. Good stuff. Okay, I'd like a few more because a few things I want to go over. Especially, I suppose you've all heard of the scenario happened at the White House regards the peace deal with Ukraine, which is quite an outburst. I had to look into it more, but get information on it because it's too it's too biased. That's been the problem. Get one side it was that, and you get the other side exactly the opposite. No, they're pushing their own narrative out again, rather than trying to give effective news and get informed. And that's the biggest problem we have with news today. It's news from a biased perspective rather than information area. It can be done, but God, you've got to really wade through and look at it and anyway, so more or less got a picture of it. But to anyone who did watch it, who are interested in it, I think whether you like or not, I think it definitely been better handled. I mean, yeah, such a thing as PR and diplomacy. I just think it could have been better handled. But anyway, push come to shove, it was a bit of a chamors to say the least. And yeah, must admit the President Trump doesn't always help himself. He could, tone it down a bit at times. And yeah, I don't just think that whether he's the right or wrong, that can be discussed if anyone's interested. But in the underlying, but the way it was handled, I think a bit of a lesson on diplomacy might help the situation. Yes, I very much did. Send it out to Herard. He got in touch with me over the weekend. He likes his Bitcoin, and he asked, and I liked it very much, so I passed it on to him, and it seriously came to the party. I got actually at 92,000, so I did very well, better than okay, I did very well in it. 90 or whatever, I think it was the original TP, got 92,000. I'm actually debating whether I'll see something like that again, just to put it on the group. Because if the guys can't, well, I assume you can work your own budget out in your own private life. You don't need me to hold your hand on that, basically. So it's up to you if you can't. Clearly, well, you can't and leave it alone. I mean, I want to be fair, but I'm not here to sort of mollycoddle. I mean, yeah, I'm being a bit unfair there. Maybe I'm doing a Trump undiplomatic comment. I don't know, but I just feel it can be put out, and that choice should be in the person whether they can afford it or not. I want to maybe put a little bit of extra saying that is a pending order, and it's going to, it's going to cost you so much a micro or whatever if you can't leave it or whatever. But it's a bit of a pity because I think some guys who could have done so would have done very well out of it. We'll come to your trades in a minute there. Thanks for part from Alex. I think they were by the format. Thanks very much. I'll go through them in a moment. But having said that, yeah, go back to the 4 hour. 4 hour should do the job. Yeah, look at this. Came in beautifully in the end. Okay. Somewhere around about there was the actual entry, 84,000 something, and 90,000 something was a TP. Well, it took that out and went further. And I got 92, and I was very happy with that. Thanks very much. That was a nice trade. Not quite as exciting on the LTC, but I
Morning,
suppose that
Raj.
was an alternative. Yeah.
Morning, Raj.
Yeah. I will do next time, Seller, because that was a beaut. Go on, Seth. Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no, it was a great one that. I also took it out at about 92 when I saw there was going to be quite a bit of a hold there where so yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like everything else, momentum. This is clearly
Yes.
momentum. I mean,
Yeah.
we can talk all about clever stuff. We learned this at college. You got your professorship, never mind your PhD. You're an IQ genius. Simple as that. It's momentum. And we as human beings, we follow momentum. We follow
Yes.
winners and get off losers. That's the general idea, anyway. Not always in practice. But anyway, so the point is that momentum was there and he got a 90,000 TP. And the thing is, bloody, all right, it came off here, it came and it started to go. And on a shorter term charge, it'd be even more magnified. So why get
Yeah.
out there? Get your stop up. You can't lose in the trade. If you want, you can take a bit out. I didn't bother because the momentum was there. I'm gonna cut it. Because I mean a lot of the forex is just dilly-dallying all the time. I mean, I'm in a few pips profit. I think I'll cut my position, maybe get the stop too close or whatever. Because there's so much dilly-dallying. But this is what you want. That's why I'm going on about it a bit. Thanks very much again, Zeph. It wasn't my idea. Calculate, but at the same time, it doesn't happen that often. When you get, we've had it all in the past. I certainly have, where you get a sodding momentum going, and it's been brilliant. And that's when you get like all these guys selling these things on YouTube. You always see them using serious momentum as their examples. But and I thought, well, hang, this has got momentum. Why get out at 90? Take it out, and I didn't cut it. I let it run, and yeah, 92,000. I started getting nervous around figure. Popped up, then it hovered a bit. Said, well, I'm out of here. I'm not get too cute. I hate to think suddenly get momentum quickly in the other direction. And yeah, so I took it, and yeah, so it was actually I was a happy chappy. That was a good one. I debated because I did pass on the hierarchy request. I debated and I didn't. Now, looking back what Sello says, and I thought afterwards, especially now looking in hindsight at the result, I should have posted. If a guy can't afford it, fair enough. But the guys who can afford it, why can't you give them that information? And as I say, it's sometimes I think we can overprotect the people who haven't got the guns, but you mustn't forget you must also look after guys who have got the guns. And yeah, so I'm thankful for that backup seller. That's reinforced the point. Um, Bitcoin stuff is going to go out. NAS stuff is going to go out if I see it. I'm nervous on the NAS because it can be choppy. Get the momentum is great, but people must be aware of their own budget volumes and what they're prepared to risk. That is incumbent upon the person. We'll give them information how to work it out, but it's still incumbent to do the math themselves. I don't run the budget of your home. You don't run the budget of my home. That should be up to the person. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not being harsh, and that's being fair. Okay. Right.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm also thinking again to enter, but I'm just waiting for that bounce.
Yeah. You see, I've been a big advocate of buy the pullbacks. I'm very much bullish on
Yeah.
Bitcoin, not because I'm an expert. No, no, it's from many sources of information of guys who I would say appear, but they seem to know what they're talking about. Let's be fair. One gets cynical as you get older. Hey, Jim. But most of them seem to be pretty jacked up, and they've been it from the beginning, and they seem to know what they're talking about. More so than the other cryptos, particularly get more information on Bitcoin, to be fair. And I'm sort of saying, not all cars are the same, but there are certain lot of similarities, should we put it that way. And so when it came back, it came back so much. I'm just feeling that if it was hovering around, I think it was that 50 odd percent on the weekly. What was this? Sorry, give me a second, guys. Let's go back. Yeah, the 50%. I thought, is he going to do this? And I thought these buyers are going to run out of patience soon. They're itching to go in. I remember
Oh, yeah.
Zeph himself when he was here said, "Ooh, can I afford a longer stop? I don't want to miss out. I'm itching to go in." Well, here, I mean, if your itch is now becoming a bloody serious rash, you want to get that bloody lotion on it and buy to get that rid of that. Using my metaphors rather badly there. So, and that held and it hovered. It wasn't seeing much more coming about. I thought, sod it. Get your stop down there. And then, even then, all right, I've been very nervous the last couple of weeks. I wrote hopefully a decent thing this morning, was snazzed up a little bit, saying the world's in sort of jumping around and it's enormous amount of trade erraticism going on. So, excuse me, I'll admit it, I've been very nervous, not as calm as I normally usually am, especially take a few
Yeah.
knocks on the trot. We're all like that. Come on, we get
But
ahead of
Saturday, I
ourselves.
was so
Yeah,
nervous about this
yeah.
position.
Well, thank you, exactly. Go on.
Uh,
Yeah, exactly. And that's simply track
Yeah,
record.
because Saturday it was just hovering, hovering,
Yeah, yeah,
hovering,
yeah.
hovering. I was like, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon, the thing
Yeah,
just shot.
yeah, it's like somebody kicked Rip Van Winkle. Have you ever heard of him? The guy went to sleep for 20 years. Say, wake up, you bugger. And he suddenly
Yeah.
woke up and went running around the house like a mad thing, like being
Yeah.
let out of jail. Yeah, basically, yes, exactly. And as I say, you human care who you are. If you had a good winning, long running one, you take more risks. If you had a bad one, you tend to sort of go into your shell a bit. It's quite normal. And so Zeph's pretty good at this. I always thought I was, so I had a bit of a bad run lately. And when you find that Alex had a bad run and Mr. Billionaire's had a bad run, you start really, you're not on your own out there. It's erratic.
Roger,
So when you get a good one, let's just jump up with glee. Yeah, go on.
they always say your student is always better than the teacher.
It's funny you say that. Actually, I learnt that from. I was actually engaged to her. She was actually a concert pianist not how many years ago, and she said that something like that. It's got to be somewhere on the line. You swallow your pride, and your pupil becomes as good, if not better, than the
Oh
person
yeah,
themselves. And it
it's
takes a
so
bit of
yeah.
pride swallowing, but in a way, if you take a step back, you should pat oneself on the back and say, right. A father should be saying that to himself. That son is getting better than me.
Yeah,
I
because
should
to
be
be honest
proud
with
rather
you,
than keep him back in his place, my own ego. Yeah, quite right.
but to be honest with you, most of my knowledge and experience has come from you because of the trading room with Quick Trade.
Thank you. I'm glad you put that in there. And thank you for that. Because I was seeing my pupil there disappearing into the bloody sunset. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just worried that Anthony, Chim, and Dion going to do the same. And Seller, who called no. Yeah. Yeah. So there it is. But yeah, good stuff. And yeah, where was I? Yeah, so there we are. Join it again now. This week tells me nothing. Let's go back to the hourly. Is it hovering? 15 might tell me. I think it's gone back to hovering a bit. We got the Euro CPI coming out. Is it CPI coming out at 12? Yeah, and the US, couple of US PMIs coming out later on at 5-ish, 5 o'clock. I think it is not ish, 5 o'clock. To bear in mind, which is the euro's got squat to do with that, but the dollar's well, the dollar is obviously it's measured in dollars, might be, but yeah, it's had a good run. It's very tempted to suddenly jump in and see if we can squeeze a bit more out, sort of, but maybe just take it easy a little bit. It seemed to slow down a bit. European session is open. Yeah, I maybe just enjoy a good one. I see. I was correct. I spoke to what's his name? That guy, Chim. What's his name? You spoke to who's joined us. What's it? Ben? Is it Ben? Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, it's
Um,
been
Ben, that's right. About the NAS, and he had his thoughts, and I put mine together. He said, "Thanks very much." And I hope he's going to still say that by Monday, because I said, "Yeah, I'm fairly bearish like he is. I think it could come back to 20,000 and maybe into 18,000, but I think after that big fall, we should get a jump sometime." And after put the phone down scenario, to use old-fashioned way, I know he's not putting the phone down anymore. You know what I mean? The thing started to come off. Oh shit! And then it bounced very, very nicely. Quite a decent bounce, in fact. So at least from that point of view, that gained some brownie points. So yeah, that analysis to work out. Okay, now we've got a few to look through. Let's get on to that before we miss the boat. We'll start off with that one since you put it up, and then we'll do the ones that Zeph sent through from Alex and see how that can come about. NZDJPY. Yeah, we all have yen phobia. That was the one that Seller came out, yen phobia. I latched onto it because I like it. Yen phobia sounds good, that doesn't it? However, I'm leaning more on a stronger yen than a weaker yen. And if I'm going to start getting clever at buying the yen, I find at the moment it might change. NZD is the one to look at. Now, as mentioned in the past, just to repeat myself again, just to remind, the two riskiest currencies in the majors and the crosses are the NZD and AU and the AUD. When I say risky, they're usually the ones that could be by far the strongest or by far the weakest, sometimes intermediate. You get the idea out of all eight of them. Swiss franc normally is the most stable. It's had a bit of a weak run at the moment. And Japanese yen has been in the past very much a go-to stable currency. People tend to go to it like the CHF, but it's had a few runs in because of interference from the BOJ and very low interest rate, as discussed before. So NZD at the moment, if I'm going to be buying the yen, I'm not too against selling the NZD. The one thing I do have about the NZD, hey Seth, you remember you mentioned it as well, is often a lack of movement. It's a bit slothful, if you've heard that animal, the sloth. It makes a snail seem like a runner job. Takes 90 minutes to climb a tree job. And yeah, so it's a bit slothful. Having said that, let's go to the daily. We got to just get the stuff up first. You can see that bend in the red line there. Ah, that's better. It's definitely in the sell zone. We got that. Hour. Let's have a look at this now. We see again, it's a short-term demand zone. To be fair, it's not a long-term one, but it still counts. Let's look at the four. It's very much in the demand zone. That's my problem. So how much downside we can get? That's good enough for a scalp, 29 pips. But that's a 4 hour chart. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. We're talking about a day and a half it's taken, to do that kind of range. And so 29 pips, it's got a bit of support there. It's not that much reward for the risk you're going to be taking. And then, all right, you're going to have to put the stop up here, which hang on. Ooh, hang on. Squeezing a 1-to-1? It's only 2 pip spreads. It's manageable. You're squeezing a 1-to-1 down there, but it hasn't broken the 10. It's held. So what's the likely downside? I'm just wondering the speed of it, etc. Is it enough sort of meat in the bone there? Is enough momentum? Is it enough? You know what I mean? Is it enough reward for not just a financial risk, for your mental? But he's stuck in the bloody thing for I don't know how long. And you might sort of bring it down 8-9 pips and say, "I'll modify my stop, maybe cut it," and then it pops up again and it stops you out. It's just the slowness of it, to be honest, and it's putting me off. But I think that the momentum's clearly still down, technically speaking, on the 4 hour. So yeah, it's just the momentum. So putting together, yep, hear you, like the trade, agree with direction. You can get a 1-to-1. I think you're gonna have to swallow a big patience a pill on that one. And remember, it's when you're in a position that jumping up and down, just play with your head. It does, and you want to have that play with your head to get your reward for an hour or two, not a day or two. You know what I mean? And then when you get your 20 pips reward, assume it comes right. By God, you've earned that. Yeah, I hope you see what I mean. But what do the other guys think? That's my take on it. Think it's worth it? The ones with strong heads pro golfers in out there can probably do it. They got very strong heads. They can hang on. But what do you guys think? It's still got to hold through below the 84. 7 pips away is a round figure. Yeah, we've got a USD. No, it's a JPY. No about USD. Never mind that. Yeah. So yeah, it's okay if you can have a bit of patience. Anyone like to do it? Got a few more to go through. So if you could come up with something on that fairly quickly, leave it alone. Yes, no. I've gone through
The
all the
only thing
stuff
is,
with
I'm
you.
just
Go
still
on.
a bit worried about the JPY.
Oh, who isn't, my friend? Who
I don't
isn't?
know.
Hey, Cello, who
Yeah,
isn't?
that's the thing.
So I take that as rather if you're worried, leave it. When in doubt, stay out and all that. Um, Cello, I think, is probably with us a bit of yen phobia. So should we leave it then, or what do you think? Anthony, your idea. What do you think? Should we go for it or what? Leave it alone. Okay, thanks. Okay, let's move on. Now we've got a few. I'm just going to quickly
Yeah, that's why I'm just
check.
I'm just sorry, Roger.
Go-
My kids were just a bit shouting, and I didn't want to make it too much noise in the room here.
Okay.
Yeah, so the yen, I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on the yen. Even those ones that Alex sent to me. I'm I'm leaning towards waiting to see if there is going to be a bit of weakness in the yen before actually going with it.
Okay. Well, okay, fair enough then. But we'll look through them anyway because you took the effort. He took the effort. Let's look through them.
Yeah, no, no, no. We can look through it. I just sent
Yeah.
it through to you so you can look at it. That's all. It doesn't mean to enter and doesn't mean it's good trades. I
No, but
just
this is the
send it
whole
so that you
point.
can have a look at it.
Exactly. When you people think if I send one through and it doesn't work out well, everyone's going to laugh for me. It's not. It's just like everything else, drawing one's attention to something to have a look at. You might say leave it alone or whatever, but you wouldn't be able to do anything unless you had it to look at. That's why I say, yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah,
Let
because
me, yeah,
the only two I actually like of his at the moment is the GBP Australian dollar and the GBP NZD. Those
should we
look
start off
good.
with those before we go to the end ones then? We'll
The,
start off with
those
J.
look good.
Okay. Now, I presume it's a buy. I haven't looked at the signal yet. Let's have a look. Where's
No,
the
it's
signal? It's a
short.
sell, is it? GBP
So yeah,
AUD, it's a sell. Of course, it's in the demand, in the supply zone, yeah? Let's look at the
I do
daily.
agree with them. It's just the thing is, I'm just want to wait for maybe a better price.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right. Clearly, it's in the demand zone. In the supply zone, Roger, for goodness sake. It's in the supply zone. Um, number one. Number two, it's right on the highs. Number three, the resistance has been attacked a couple of times, but it hasn't broken through. Let's go to the weekend. Not tell us much, not really. So let's go to the 4 hour. It is holding above the what's this one? The 10 day. 10 day moving average. Never mind the blue. Look back here, it's red. You can see 10 day. It's not getting much pullback. It's tried to break through and fail, but it's having not looking like it's given up and coming off as yet. Try the hourly. What's happening on the hourly? 30 pip range. That's not bad. It's not a bad range on the hourly. Let's just get a bit better there. See better. Bit indecisive here around this area here. Let's try the 30. We don't usually do the 30. Well, okay. Right. From the
Yeah,
point of
I'm
view
just
where
waiting
you're
for confirmation on these, but I like the trades.
sure. Well, put it together at the moment, we've got no strategy confirmation whatsoever. As I've
Yeah.
mentioned many times over the years, just because it's very expensive doesn't mean to say it's overvalued. I've seen things are very cheap, were still undervalued. You know what I mean? That Ferrari at $1 million, you think is a bit expensive, but if you can flog it to somebody for because he didn't know what was going on and he didn't realize the market price is $1.5 million, you're happy to pay a million if you got it, of course because you know you can quickly flog it on for 1.5. So not necessarily because it's high and resistance. What you want to say, has it reached its overvalued? Has it reached its supply zone? Order books filled, blah, blah, blah. Now is it time for the pullback? I haven't seen it yet. 15 minutes has not given me confirmation yet because it's come off. Momentum start to get going, but the short term hadn't caught up with it before it turned around and bounced again. So putting it together, I take your point, but we've got no way that the sellers yet are confident enough to get stuck in. So from that point of view, I hear you, but again, I think we agreed on this, guys. We'll wait for confirmation. Are we all happy with that?
Yeah, no, I agree. I wait for our strategy to have a confirmation downside before going in.
Okay. Right, we'll go to the
Because
other. Go on.
it is on its high. I agree with that, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to just hover a bit before it moves, but yeah.
Well, it not hover. It already is hovering. Got to see it stop hovering, get momentum, as mentioned, like the BTC earlier on. Once it gets momentum, clamber on, and away you go. It hasn't received that yet. Okay, fine. We'll move on. GBP NZD. We'll come to the other two, the N ones in a moment. Just do these two first. This one also is a sell. I'm a bit iffy on New Zealand as a strong one at the moment. Sorry, New Zealanders out there. But if I'm going to sell the pound, I don't know. I think probably prefers. Anyway, we'll see. But it seems to be we've got a drawing attention to arrow, not a get in arrow, a drawing attention to. But we had one there to sell, and then 15 minutes later, well, he had a one to buy. Half an hour later, one to sell. So I'm not exactly excited. The NZD is a to me. I hate to say it, Mr. NZD, you're a bloody boring currency. Yeah, sorry about that, but you are, Mr. NZD, a boring currency. We got the 1 hour now, except for this guy here. Let's look at the range. 30 pips over the last, whew, how many hours? I'm not counting that. Fingers and toes don't go that far, so I can't. Um, 4 hour. Yeah, it had a bit of resistance there. Get that. I don't see much evidence yet of any supply zone scenario on it. Try the weekly. Nope, not getting any there. So, um, yeah, I'm afraid to say it's not blowing my head back yet for confirmation. That previous red arrow turned around 15 minutes sodding later, not even much of a gap before the damn thing changed its mind. To me, it seemed to be a bit of a range at the moment. And if we do go in now, 10 pips away is that. All right, you made 10 pips, but the risk you took to get there, is it worth it financially? I mean, you'll risk 2 rand to make one. I mean, that's not going to help your cause. Even though in that often getting out with 1 rand profit with a 2 rand risk, I get that. But still, before you gone in, is it going to break through there? So I'm not excited enough to be honest. I don't sit in Yawnsville for the next few hours, watch it, you know, meander along or crabbing along. So for that one, it's just not enough action, but it's due for a pullback. But not confident enough it's going to happen. Are we okay with that? Any disagreements? If not, we can move on. Right, what was the other one? Just a second. Let's pull them out. My phone's just gone off there. Just get back in again. Just a second. Right, we'll go to the yen ones then now. AUD Japanese yen. Now, this is a buy. I'm not that confident yet that, is that correct? Let's make sure. That's better. Okay, I'm not that confident yet that I'm going to buy the Aussie dollar and sell the yen. I'm not that confident. I've got a bit of yen phobia, but if I have to, I'm still sort of leaning towards maybe a little bit stronger, a little bit. So here I'm be selling the yen. I'm buying a currency that's not exactly that strong at the moment. Where's on the FinViz, Adam? Just quick check. Nah, it's about halfway up, but that chops and changes. Um, hmm. It clearly at the moment it's in the sell zone. Clearly at the moment it hadn't got much further to come back for a bit of resist. I get that, but it's not really giving me much excitement to this is a buy. Now I'm not sure I'm fully comfortable with that at all. That coupled my yen phobia with a 10 holding to buy, how far is up in the 4 hour? 29 pips. I mean, if it was about 50 pips, it might be worth giving it a bash if you get a decent stop not too far away for a quick sort of run back up the 10. I don't know, whatever it is you're going in for. But it hasn't broken the 10. It's held the 10 throughout, going back as far as the chart eyes can see on the 4 hour. We're going back to the 11th of February. It hasn't broken the 10. Oh, yeah. When was it? Yeah. Okay, maybe 12th of February, whatever. Yeah, but that's what's it now. We're in March already. It's a couple of 2, 3 weeks ago. I'm not sure I'm happy with this trade at all. I don't particularly want to sell it, but I think there's more chance of it coming down there than going back up and buying it there. So if you're going to make me buddy do it, whether I like it or not, I think I prefer to actually probably even sell it down. I'm not sure I'm happy to buy this up, but fact, bottom line is this screams at me LIA. Yeah, good stuff, Dion. Anyone disagree with me? Does anyone see? Because I'll be honest with you, I would if you want my advice. LIA. Hate to say it, Zeph. Murphy's Law. This probably going to take off. We're not going to be on board. You know, that's called Murphy's Law. But I can't outdo Murphy. I'll leave him on his own.
No,
And
I agree. It can this thing just shoots up
you
there
can't
you are.
fight the trading gods, my friend. They're too powerful. They got the
No,
nuclear bomb.
definitely.
You've got the sodding pea shooter. So you can only do what's in front of you. That to me is you see a sell LIA. Thank you, Antonio. That's what I see as well.
Yeah, that's what I said. These some of them I didn't agree with him in that sense.
But the beauty is you sent it to us. It's something discussed together and learn from. Myself,
Yeah.
yourself, everybody. Yeah, yeah. This is the beauty of it. Okay. Right. We'll try the next one. CAD JPY. What do you want to do with this one? Buy. I'd rather buy the CAD one than the AUD if you're going to have to buy something. Again, all right, it did break the 10 and opened up above the 10 here. So I'll give you a due on that one. But it didn't last for long. We started getting decisions on the 4 hour. Not much happening there. Um, well, I was telling you it's going to suddenly change action and go back. I mean, clearly it's very much still in the sell zone. What's going to tell you? I've mentioned this, I'm sort of repeat again. Just because it hits a high or a low doesn't mean to say it's going to definitely bounce there. How many times in the past it hit the high, must come back, and it pulled back a little bit, okay, and then bang, off it went on. It's still going up. Nvidia would be the same. All right, it's had a share split, but if you'd said that before the share split, it was about like 150 or dollars or $200 or whatever, you'd have been very, very disappointed. In fact, if you went short on it on a derivative, you'd have very soon quickly been stopped out because it went up to over $1,000 or whatever. It went to 1450. I can't remember what it went to. It was a heck of a lot anyway. So yeah, that is not giving me indication suddenly the yen's going to weaken, the Canadian's going to suddenly, and you can look at this previous candle for indecision, and anyways, it's not happening. So those two clearly telling me on the 4 hour, leave it alone. We'll go to the 15 minute, give it a full shot. 15 minute is on the strategy. It's not telling you to do anything but stay in. You got a nice sell trade, but don't chase it now. The shipper sale job. That's not telling me at all to buy it. I mean, it popped down, popped up, popped down. I mean, what are we on the 15 minute? Okay, it's only 3 minutes old, that candle, but still, it's not to give me any. I'll try a 5 minute candle. Really, really straight at the bottom of the back. Yeah, even the 5 minutes not giving me much. Does that those candles there, spinning tops you're in the call, I call them indecision candles, are giving me any confidence to buy that at this stage of the game? I think the ship will sell for a short, but I'm not sure. I definitely wouldn't be buying it. So for those two, I'm definitely not going to take the buy, and I'm not going to take the sell either. But I'm definitely not going to take the buy. The other two, I'm happy with as long as we get the confirmation. I'm more comfortable selling the AUD and the pound, to be honest. Okay, but that's how I look at it. And anything else on that? Okay. Now, has anyone been watching what's been happening on Friday with the Ukraine situation? Because if you're interested, I can upgrade you up if you already know about it, or you couldn't be less interested. I don't want to bore you with it, but it is important not just for human lives and war, and what's happening as regards more of a rift with the Europe on the United States, which is not a clever move. I'll tell you what I mean by that. Jim will understand. He's a big football supporter, maybe Cello, probably Zeph as well. Doesn't matter. Any sport will do. We use football. It's very well known. To me, it's like a game of football between Russia and the rest, particularly against the Western world. So what Russia do, they come to their side of the pitch, they put a nice couple of sofas down, nice couple of tables, bring the girlfriends along, and put a nice couple of bottles of nice cold ice vodka and a couple of glasses and get stuck in. And they watch the UK and American supposedly alliance, supposed to be friends, see compete to score the most own goals. So is it going to be 20 nil or 30 nil? They'll be sitting having a laugh over their vodka. That's exactly what seems to be happening at the moment. So Russia must be absolutely creaming themselves to watch this carry on. And that's what I'm getting out of it at the moment. I mean, Zelensky, quite frankly, Trump, no doubt about it, could handle a lot better. Jesus, I'm not exactly diplomat number one, as Jim knows well, but bloody hell. But anyway, the point is, he pushed his bloody luck. You know what I mean? He's got very few cards to play, and they're not stupid. They can see through a bluff. And you're not holding the cards, and you're playing with people who understand the game. In other words, they've played poker before, they've played chess before. To try after it came up with, in my opinion, an excellent deal, certainly the best you expect to get out of it when you're stuck in the hind tit, excuse me, to come on and try and get cute to say what guarantees you're going to put up for a country, thousands of bloody miles away from Europe, not part of Europe, and certainly a country is not part of NATO, suddenly wanting them after sending all that money to give you guarantees. I mean, for goodness sake, and that's where they lost it. And I thought, what's going on here? When I thought, hang on. And I only saw after because I researched into a little bit that I was informed. You know what happened in the background? Of course I didn't. I saw it on there. Was the fact they'd agreed to the bloody deal. Everything was fine. Come back and do a PR handshaking, and we're going to have peace, and we're going to have the deal sorted out. And then he pushed his luck and started lecturing about stuff and about the distance. We've got water there to protect you guys. Blah blah blah. What else? Putin has lied before. Well, no kidding. Everyone's lied out there. What guarantees are you going to give me? And that's when they lost it. At the time, I thought, give the guy a bit of empathy until I realized after looking into it, they'd already had that. Don't tell us about that. We all know it's part of the deal. We're not going to put bloody lives in some other bloody continents on the ground there and send good money after bad, prolong a war. There's no way you can win. This will get the guys in there. America will get their rare earth stuff out, not as much as they like, because they won't get the Donbass region where most of it is. But anyway, they'll get stuff out. But more of the point, they got the skills and labor to send people over there, not troops. Nothing about NATO there. Human beings as troops to get it out. Now, Russia can't now start getting too clever in case they take out a few American lives on the ground. And if they do that, then America say, hang on, they can then beat their chest like Pearl Harbor and do something. Last thing that Russia wants is that. Plus, from Russia's perspective, they're going broke very slowly, but with the sanctions on their oil, I know people are breaking it, but it still costs a fortune in war, and they're losing morale. All these people getting killed, Russians getting killed. So that I think would have been probably not a bad, but the best agreement I can think of anyway to come out of it. And that's when he pull. And what happens? He goes over and Starmer says, "We'll support you. We'll put in $1.6 billion and put feet on the ground." Well, $1.6 billion, a lot of money, I know, but it's peanuts to that. And what do you mean you put feet in the ground? Not part of NATO. What feet are you going to put in the ground? It's just the whole thing's now become bloody circus, and it's dangerous. So that's my take on it. If you're interested, if you're not, well, I'm sorry, I just bored you shitless. GBPAUD of Guardian. Giving it a try. Okay, if it loses, guys, anyone on the copy trade, oh, I just thought I'd give it a try. I'm not sure they'd be happy with that explanation. But I tell you what, my friend, it seems to be coming to the party, doesn't it? I'll give you due on that one. It seems to be coming to the party, yeah. Good luck, mate. I'm still nervous to chase it out. What do you think? Am I being a right bloody wuss?
Roger.
Hmm?
Looking at our indicators and our strategies and stuff, the GBP AUD has not crossed the bottom
Yeah,
50 yet.
yeah, it hasn't actually quite right.
So in terms of the indicator, it's still we still have to wait a little bit more for it to go down.
Okay, good point. So we tend to try longer term charts. Oh, well, bloody hell. Have we got a target, says I. Ah, wow. That, oh God, but that's no problem. We've got a 250 pip target, so that's the least of our worries. Oh, that's good.
Rod, Rod,
Yeah.
yeah, you see, mine, I just got the confirmation on that 50 MA already. That's why
Okay.
I entered.
Aha, that's a bit of interesting stuff to look at. Then I'm getting tempted, Dion. I'm
Remember, I
getting
don't have
tempted.
my alerts like your guys. Your guys' alerts are on the two different 50s. Mine is
Okay.
only on that middle 50 MA.
Oh, okay. I thought, how can you have different ones to me? A 50 is a 50, whatever
No, but my
language.
MA is set differently.
Ah, now that makes sense. I get
My
you now.
indicators are
Yeah.
exactly like yours.
Yeah, except it when it crosses
It's
the
got the
blue,
two red,
you
it's
give
got the
you give the
blue.
entry. When we get the red, we get entry. No, I
Yes,
got you
you
completely
guys
on
wait a
that.
bit
Yeah,
longer. You wait for
yeah,
that confirmation
yeah,
on that
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
But
I'm glad.
mine already got the confirmation on the
Yeah,
50.
yeah. I'm glad you added that last little sentence on the end because I thought, how's that? How can that be different? Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, that's why I entered already for that.
Okay, let's go back to the 4 hour again. It is a bit of a worry, this guy, Dion. It is a bit of that's a 10, not a 50, sorry. this color there goes to blue. It's a 10. It's a bit of a worry, and it might get a bit of a bounce. So I'm telling you what I'm going to do, Dion. I'm going to do a good compromise here. I like the low, but I'm going to wait. We got plenty downside to play with. No worry about having too small a target. Maybe just see if we can beat the. He'll be laughing. Well, sorry, the four, I beg your pardon. He'll be laughing, old Zeph, if we get in when it's confirmed breaking of the 10, because he'll be about 15 pips in profit. He's probably starting closing some of them by then. But good luck. Fortune favors the brave and all that. But don't wait too long, exactly. But that's what I'm thinking. However, my rubber arm can be twisted. Should we go now or wait? I'll put it to you guys. Put it to the vote. Remember, those who agree we get 2 votes. Those who disagree only get 1 vote. Just have to address the rules quickly here. That's a joke. Shim, by the sound of it, wants to go for it. What about you other guys? Wait. I'm not going to ask Zeph because he's obviously biased. He's already in the bloody thing. Oh, dear. What do you think, Anthony? Should we wait? Wait a bit, Stella. I think this looks like, yeah. Okay, I'm going to wait. Did you do the other one, by the way? NZD as well. Well done, if you come right. Well, it's just about giving the confirmation. Have we got
Yes,
plenty?
I went in on both of them.
Yeah, I saw that now. Yeah, thanks. How far down here? Got quite a bit to get there. It's broken the 10. I thought so. Murphy's Law. The one I prefer was the other one, but this looks like the one that might be the better one, as it turns out. It seemed to be holding at the 50, though. Sorry, the 100, I mean. What are we on? 15, make sure. Should we do this one then? If you want to wait. What about this one? Not really getting the upside. Should we do this one? I think I'm going to do this one. Just going to go small one. What the hell I'm doing anyway? No, I haven't worked my stop out, have I? Never mind, not a problem. That's good enough. 95. We're ready to play with. Where's the TP? I prefer a better TP than that. Yeah, do down there. Just above it. There we are. Okay. Now, the next question, guys, who do I blame if it goes wrong other than myself? Probably that other one comes right. Chim's going to laugh at me, isn't he? I told you so. And it seems to be doing all right. I think I'm being bullied by you, Chim. I'm being bullied. Let's have a look. Now, I'm just a bit worried about this guy, the 10. So I'm going to, bullied or not, I'm going to do a clack job on it. Okay. So there we are. Let's have a look at gold. That did well as well. Did okay on gold. Hey, Seth. I think I might actually look at gold to put out the
Yes, on
same.
Friday I bought gold a bit, and then it did go up quite a bit.
I did. It did fine.
So I
Yeah.
did well on gold, and then BTC already opened up one on Friday night a little bit, but I was a bit iffy, so I took it out earlier, and then I saw, oh, it is going up.
Well, you see, the Bitcoin, the NAS, and gold have been the last few days a bit of a go-to because it's been so erratic on the forex scenario. And so,
Yeah.
as mentioned earlier on the session there, I think I'm going to, if I see something on gold, I'm just going to point out, be aware contract side, but it'll see if it says, let's say, 150 Rand a micro or whatever it happens to bloody well be. Common sense
Mm.
will say, well, hang on, I've only got a small amount. Percentage wise, that's a lot. Maybe it's a bit rich for my blood on my account. I'm sure, I mean, one knows one's own budget. You don't go out to the shops, 100 Rand in your pocket, start buying up washing machines, do you? I mean, common sense.
Mm. Even Nez, when on Friday night, I was like, this thing is bound to go up a bit. And I was iffy to take it, but it did go up.
Yeah, I well, I just shoved my bloody mouth after Ben, Ben Cooner there, Jim, about what I thought, and I thought, yeah, I've got an opportunity, let's go and do it. So yeah, yeah, and yeah, we right, did very well in fact. Let's have a look at it. Go to 4 hour. Yeah, right down here. So you see, went up what about 500 at the end, 400, whatever it was. No, I did fine. Again, when you read
Yeah,
articles
that is
about,
where I wanted to take the bounce on Friday night
yeah, you can
because of
even
the demand zone, but I
exactly
was a bit worried.
demand zone 20,500, couple hundred pips stop, aim at 21,000 on the nail, start cutting your position. If it doesn't get, I think it actually did get there. In fact, actually did get there, or did
Yeah,
it? It did
the
get
big
just
bounce
squeezed
on the
there.
Roger, the big bounce on the NAS was this morning at 1 o'clock. It made a quite a bounce.
You're right. What happened there? This is what, yeah. According to mine is actually Friday.
Yeah, that was all Friday,
Uh,
not today. Yeah, that was
mm.
Friday.
Do you
When
know
I
what I
put it
think
on
that is? Do you know what I think it
when I
is,
put it on the
guys?
15 minute, it looks like when I put it on the 15 minute, it looks like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Well, put it on the hour, then it looked like what it did, 9 or 10. But seriously, seriously,
Mm.
joking apart, the reason why I expected that bounce, and he used to say afterwards, looks like I might have been right. It's rather nice when one is. Is the fact that I thought it's due for a corrective profit taking. You find if you read a lot of news articles, they'll always, after the event, talk about the fundamental reasons why that happened. Because they're just saying, oh, it's a profit taking bounce, takes up about one sentence of space. They're going to put a bit more in there. They're not employed all that money to write that. You know what I mean? So they go and show how clever they are, padding it out with sort of all sort of fundamental reasons. I tell you what I think that bounce was. Again, profit taking going into the weekend. Look at those times. It's getting close to midnight. Now, why don't they do it at midnight? Because a lot of guys have gone home. They're not doing anymore. It's no point saying, I've got 100 lot position I want to clear out for the weekend, and they can't get rid of it because everyone else either knocked off, either out or not bothering. Because remember, if they're getting out of that, they got to sell, sorry, yeah, sure. They got to buy to exit, and there might not be any guys wanting to buy the Nasdaq, or enough guys going the opposite direction, whichever way around it is, to actually fulfill those larger orders. So they often do, and I know that from experience as well, that you don't wait till just before midnight because you might not have the liquidity. You get out 2 or 3 hours beforehand. There's still a bit of trading, still liquidity flushing around the international world to make sure if you get out of your position, you're not stuck with the damn thing. And almost certainly that's what occurred. It's expect the bounce, got a nice profit. They want to go to the weekend, clean out, books all square. Let's get out of those positions. And that's probably what happened. Now, on top of it, you're going to get a bit of momentum when you see that guy's still awake there. I think, hang on a minute, looking like it's a bit of upward movement. I think the buyers now will probably come in and say, I'll do a bit of maybe short term scalping to ride that momentum. And then, sort of encourage the momentum in that direction. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. So now the next question is all very fine. We know now what's happened. That's great. What's he going to do now? I think it's going to move around, wait for the next bit of news to come out to see which got 5 o'clock, I think it is today, a couple of PMIs coming out to see whether we got a more motivation to take it through 21,000 to march back up or to hover a bit more, or it still looks a bit worrying it might come off further. Now, it looks like Hamas deal was being put forward, or Israel rather put forward. I just heard earlier on Netanyahu saying it's been refused. The deal, the peace deal put forward, a shorter term one, leading to a longer term one, looks like it's been turned down. And so they went in and did a bit more fighting and carry on. So that might be a little bit to be taken into account. And unless Zelensky comes back cap in hand and agrees on the deal, I'm not taking too much news that Europeans jumping up and down. They haven't got the bun. When I say the guns, I mean they haven't got the bucks. Well, they have, but then again, the people in the country can just say, "Well, hang on, what about us? You know, we're battling, and you're suddenly sending money to another country. What's going on here?" So they huff and puff, and that really, 1.6 billion is peanuts in a war scenario like that. So that's all it does is sort of stay off, not momentarily. Uh, 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 it just means the war is going to continue a little bit more, achieve nothing, but hopefully try to get a bit of political credibility for your side, which is disgusting when you think about it. So I don't. It's in the hands of Zelensky and America to come to that because they're the biggest payers. Who pays the piper and all that? And if that can come over the next day or so, then we get a jump. If the egos come in and we're not going to do business with Zelensky, blah blah, sod off, then I think we can get a pullback. So I think a little bit from here on is a little bit in the hands of what's happened geopolitically, because it's still a bit of a fallout that Friday conference. Because I'm afraid Zelensky did pull the plug on that. Trump could have been a bit better mannered, but at the same time, trying to bluff when you've got a terrible hand is not a clever thing to do if you're playing a person who understands the game of poker. You know what I mean? So I'm a bit iffy. I think it's to meander here. Whether it's going to suddenly come back down again or shoot back up again, I think it's too many. To me, it's a bit of guesswork at the moment. Too many things could unfold, push it in our direction, which we're not sure which is which. I'm inclined to the pressure Zelensky's to come back cap in hand to make the deal, which will be okay for everybody basically. But we'll have to see if that occurs. And hence a bit of help to gold as well. So we took the gold. So that's another one. Okay, so that's quite an interesting session we had today. We went through a few good trades. We got into one. Um, uh, let's see how it's doing. Anything happening there? Tells me bugger all. And that naturally, as soon as you go in, it starts to break through. The thing decides to hold. Well, we'll see anyway. Yeah, we got that one going. Went through bits and pieces. Yeah. So what can I say? Ben didn't come, by the way, Chim. I thought you were going to be coming in this morning. Might come on at 1. Okay. That being said, right, catch you at 1, see if any more interesting stuff comes out. Keep your ears to the ground, any news, just be very careful where you get that news from, because most is emotional implications without getting the full story. Sorry, guys, just one second before we go. Classic example, the US ambassador has just resigned, came over from a South African point of view. Didn't like the way Trump was doing it. Well, let's just look at what's behind that. Number one, her time was due. Now, you do a stint, and then it's time to, do you want to renew it or not, or move on? Number two, she was part of the Democratic Biden administration. She's not part of that. So I don't think she had much choice to move anyway. So if you didn't know that or look into it, you'd make your own sort of political emotional uptake on it without knowing the full facts and get a completely the wrong end of the stick. So be careful and look into it before you jump on too much of a bandwagon. Not just a headline, and where's that headline come from? The implications are often very misleading. Be careful. Yeah. Anyway, Okay, guys. And always remember the one with the guns, whether you like them or not, unfortunately control the narrative. And my guns, I mean money. Simple as that, as we all know. Okay, all right, guys. Thanks very much. And yeah, I'll catch you later on. Hope we can make it. Hope Ben and company join. Hope a few others join, and yeah, have a bit of fun. I said I'd go through stuff with him, Chim, by the way. He wanted to know all these things, what's going on there, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I can't tell you on the phone. You need to come in here and set up. He'd be happy with that. Spoke to you on the weekend on that. So it's up to him now. And yeah, then we can put the stuff off with him when he comes on. Okay. All right, guys. And yeah, good stuff. Catch you later. I sent you some stuff, by the way, some numbers and that, but I think you should have received it. Okay, Jim, catch you and guys later.
Bye all.
Cheers now.